Hello. Um, welcome back to Dragon Age. One thing I need to go over just before we start is that I will be away the next couple of days. I'm going to be in Spain for a little bit, which is going to be nice. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. But that does mean there will be a dry spell of content over the weekend. Obviously, there will be more content next week, most definitely. We're carrying on with Dragon Age. There is also New Vegas will be starting next week, which I'm really looking forward to. And also next week, I'm going to be starting to do some more culture videos on on fantasy races and things like that. So we're also going to be doing lots more writing videos, and next week we will be carrying on with our history talks. I'm going to test run that tonight. I might even record it tonight and then whack it up on well, next week. But we're covering Caesar next time, which is going to be absolutely awesome. And one other idea I had for a video next week was putting in ancient cultures into your fantasy settings when you're writing and stuff. So lots of stuff to come next week, but this weekend, no new content. So just getting that out there. Awesome. You know, I'm aware I could just set it to, you know, auto upload, but I never really like doing that because I like being around for the reaction. I like talking to people and things like that. Got my green tea. Happy bunny. I think it's a key criticism of Dragon Age in general is that some of these areas are too long. I do feel they are too long.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fully aware that people, you know, will say, well, you know, it's our, you know, it's meant to be long. It's meant to be, you know, really huge in terms of like a big expansive game. That's fine, but I do think certain parts are a bit too long. Okay, we can't do any tombstone just yet. That is a quest for a big set of armour, which we will do, but I will not wear the armour probably. So.
We are invaded. Intruders have deceived their way into the forest's heart. Fall back to the ruins. Protect the lady.
Before we just wanders off, and we're like, oh.
The werewolves live in an old ruin? I wonder if there are other treasures to be found here besides wolf droppings.
We're about to find out. Sorry, I'm just checking the stream is working. I keep thinking that's a doorway, but it's not. It's just a wall.
Got it.
I don't think we can go down there. I think it's locked. This is straight down into the yeah, it's locked. The lair of the werewolves is locked. It's annoying. I think this is supposed to be blood, but it's just really low res. We've got tons of spiders in here, and they are very loud, so we'll go up here. So when they enter, they're extremely loud, and it's extremely annoying. What am I doing with this stuff? One. Two. Three. Nothing down there. Bring it on.
a good day to die!
You will learn.
See what you
Got it. That's rather loud. So what you're about to see is a male dragon, a female dragon. Thanks, Zev, for... That was a male dragon.
Can I get so you can get off my back? Get on it.
I am your
Now we play a little.
Well, it takes him down and then immediately dies. Machine gun. Very nice. It's openable. Not really. Oh, there's everyone. Might be good.
Must you?
No. But there's a horde, which is cool. One of the things I really like about Shadowrun, no, it's really off out left field, but Shadowrun is the dragons in that situation, in that world, they run corporations because, you know, what the dragons do, they sit on big piles of treasure. And in the world of that world, 21st century, corporations are the, you know, biggest piles of treasure you can get. Love how that setting incorporates stuff like that. One sec. The actual undead in this game can be really annoying to fight in this part of the game. There can be quite a lot of them. And they can all be rather difficult.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Oh, this is a nasty one.
Mamina Marasan.
Can you hear me? What are you doing here?
Mummy! Mummy! Mummy!
Oh, shut up. This is just pointless. I hated that kid. This is why. Now, this may seem like it's easy, but with the sheer amount who run in and out, it can actually be really hard. What's this? Look at that. So we do this. Nice. Let's switch to my bloody sword thing again. It's supposed to be lightning. I prefer lightning. Nice. Uh-huh. Water in the pool appears cool and clean. It is refreshed from some internal source, perhaps magically. Submerged in the water is what appears to be a small earthen jug. Alright. Examine and test the water. Water appears normal and dipping your hand to it. It is cool to the touch. It is definitely circulated by some unknown force. Drink some of the water. The water is surprisingly refreshing, but otherwise has no special effects. That's fine. Take the earthen jug. I'm going to fill the earthen jug with water. Leave the pool alone. I'm going to come over this thing over here. I'm going to place the filled earthen jug on the altar. I'm going to kneel before the altar and going to pray. I'm going to examine the earthen jug on the altar. I'm going to take a single sip of water from the jug, if I remember correctly. I'm going to take the earthen jug, leave the altar alone. Now, I'm going to go to this. I'm going to dump the water back into the pool. Aha! Slowly you spill the water out of the jug back into the pool. As soon as the jug is empty, it suddenly shatters, its pieces falling into the floor. Yes. Took me ages to work that out first time round, I don't know why. There's lots of cool stuff in here. I think that's the one's mum.
Nay, Goran Sedale, Goran!
Be gone, creature. You have no place here.
see enemies ahead.
I think you'll get that response no matter what you do, really, so... Nice. The Juggernaut plate armor. It's amazing as a bit of armor. You know, 18.38 armor. Yeah, a full 10 above what I've got on me at the moment. Its fatigue's only 26.25. There's 10% resistance to everything in the game. Yeah, you take that. Because at the moment, you know, it's only 5% more fatigue as well. So, but hey, it's a good reason why I'm not using it, and that's because I can get Warden armor. That's much better than that later on. Especially, I think it's Vigil's Keep where you go and buy that. You can really buy it. You can't really do much else with it. Love how this place is designed with all of the roots from the forest above coming in. It's a nice area. It really is. Where are we going now? We want to be going down this way.
All right. Can I get you a laugh so you can get off my
Nice. There's a phylactery. This elaborate artifact has a gem-like structure that contains what appears to be blood, fresh and liquid even after all this time. The gem is vibrating slightly. Show it to the party members.
A device meant to hold a spirit, perhaps? Such would be my guess. Though, what might be left of any spirit within after such a long time trapped?
It looks elven, all right. Considering that what I know of my ancestors, you could fit into a gem half that size, that's all I could really tell you.
Elf magic.
I love Stan. Touch the gem. Gem is warm to the touch and your mind immediately begins swimming with visions, images and memories from a life not your own. The presence in the gem is at first alarmed when it senses your touch. It recalls in fear, and the images that rush into your mind are ones of imprisonment and loneliness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. The presence calms and then is racked with indecision. Rather than have you leave, it begs you to stay. More images flash through your mind. Time that the presence has been trapped within a life gem. Time where the presence has slept, gone mad, and then slept again. The presence has no name it can remember, yet the sense of an elf, a mage in glittering silver armour. But this was long ago, remembered as if through a fog. How did you end up in the gem? You see images of a great battle, elves and humans both screaming and attempting to flee from some horrible presence. What that presence was is blurry and lost to time. The presence fled the destruction by using the life gem, escaping its body. It was sure that someone would come to rescue it, but none did. Not until now. you were once a mage. These images are again of the elf in silver armour, one who is a mage and warrior both. The name of for the order he belongs to translates into your mind as Arcane Warrior. What is an Arcane Warrior exactly? The presence can remember little. You see images of an order of elven mages who channel their spells into their strength, fighting as Arcane Warriors to defend their charges. The presence will give you what knowledge remains within it of how to become an Arcane Warrior. You are no mage yourself, but you could teach others you could teach such knowledge to those who are. This is all the presence I've left to offer any longer, the last of its memories. In return, the presence only asks one thing from you, oblivion. How can I give you the release you seek? The images that come are faint and uncertain. You see a stone altar and the life gem placed upon that altar. The life gem then vibrates and explodes, and destroying the presence within forever. The yearning that follows this image is keen and almost hopeless. Alright, I'll try to help you. The images become tinged with desperation. The presence cannot remember where the altar is, but it knows the life gem must be placed on it. Approach the stone altar with the gem. As the gem nears the altar, the presence becomes overcome with emotion. Could its endless nightmare finally be over? The images that are sent to your mind depict a clear question. Do you still wish to learn the skills of the Arcane Warrior? The presence is ready to teach you now. I require nothing in return for an act of mercy. The last images from the presence are ones of joy. Oblivion will be a welcome relief. If you you can actually get it to teach you, and then just throw it away. But I've never had the heart to do that. The writing's so good that I've just never had the heart to do it. Obviously, this is an ancient elven ruin now, so. You can just be such a horrible dick in this game. It's not even right. Some of the things you can actually end up doing. Let's kill these. Oh, there's some people as well.
All right.
Broken crates. Neither of anything good in broken crates, to be honest.
Now's better than later. All right.
Okay. Hold position.
Watch out, trap.
Stan, can you please kill?
What is your command?
So there's no point. So I was gonna disarm them, but you gotta have one. actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Now, better than later. Can I get you a ladder so you can get on my back? Someone's gonna fall on it! So now, better than later.
Okay. Who got level up? Did you get level up? No. Are you close to getting level up? Yes, you are. Good.
Make it quick.
Go. This arcane horror is very annoying. to say the least.
That's finished.
Even if you see it's disappearing, even if you freeze it, I think he just keeps doing it as well. I think it's like has a yeah, he does. He just keeps doing it. Really important. If
ready.
Stupidly annoying. I've got no idea why they thought this would be a good mechanic. Like, he's not going to win, he's going to die, but it's just it's not a good mechanic. It's terrible. Ha 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 ha! I waited for him instead. Wasn't having it. Manuscript copy.
That was less fun than I would have liked.
It'll be fine, Zev. Boo.
Can I get you a okay. All right.
Now, to get down to where the werewolves are...
I'll get on it.
Funnily enough, you've got to swim. I've always thought this is pretty silly that you've got to swim down here. It's like... I've got full armour on. Well, he's got massive armour. Would not work at all. This can be quite difficult, this bit. Because they do this. It's really annoying.
Now's better than later.
Absolute
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
annihilation.
Watch out, trap there.
Nice. He needs 12 cunning for that, does he? I'll take a decent tactician, why not? Go. Was that it? I think it was it. Yeah, it was. Oh no, I think there's another room. I think there's another room where you're gonna... Maybe not. I'm not sure. Nope, this is it.
Stop! Brothers and sisters, be at ease. We do not wish any more of our people hurt. I ask you this now, outsider. Are you willing to parley?
We're talking right now, aren't we? To talk.
Not with me. I have been sent to you on behalf of the lady. She believes you may not be aware of everything you should be. She means you no harm, provided your willingness to parley in peace is an honest one.
And how do I know I won't be walking into another ambush?
What would be the point? You have already proven your strength. We have no wish to anger you further.
So why doesn't this lady just come and speak for herself?
We would not let her. We will protect our lady to our last breath. It may yet come to pass that you will kill the rest of us, but until then we will not chance her coming to harm.
If you were willing to talk, why didn't you earlier?
Swiftrunner did not think it would matter. The lady disagrees, and since you have forced your way this far, we must acquiesce to her wishes.
Is your lady Witherfang?
She is not Witherfang, but she can tell you of Witherfang if you ask. But first, you must agree to parley.
Okay, take me to her.
Follow me. But I warn you, if you break your promise and harm her, I will come back from the Fade itself to see you pay.
I bid you welcome, mortal. I am the Lady of the Forest.
I must admit, I was expecting another werewolf.
No, that I am not. If I could have revealed myself sooner, I would have.
Do not listen to him, lady. He will betray you. We must attack him now.
Hush, Swiftrunner. Your urge for battle has only seen the death of the very ones you've been trying to save. Is that what you want?
No, my lady. Anything but that.
And the time has come to speak with this outsider, to set our rage aside. I apologize on Swiftrunner's behalf. He struggles with his nature.
As do we all.
Truer words were never spoken. But few could claim the same as these creatures, that their very nature is a curse forced upon them. No doubt you have questions, mortal. There are things that Zathrian has not told you.
How do you know what he has and hasn't told me?
Because there are things that he would not tell. Things that you should decide for yourself, whether you need to know. It was Zathrian who created the curse that these creatures suffer. The same curse that Zathrian's own people now suffer. Centuries ago, when the Dalish first came to this land, a tribe of humans lived close to this forest. They sought to drive the Dalish away. Zathrian was a young man then. He had a son and daughter he loved greatly. And while out hunting, the human tribe captured them both.
The humans tortured the boy, killed him. The girl they raped and left for dead. The Dalish found her, but she learned later she was with child. She killed herself.
Well, they deserve what they got.
Indeed they did.
Zathrian came to this ruin and summoned a terrible spirit, binding it to the body of a great wolf. So Witherfang came to be. Witherfang hunted the humans of the tribe. Many were killed, but others were cursed by his blood, becoming twisted and savage creatures.
Twisted and savage, just as Witherfang himself is.
Deceit is the nature of men.
They were driven into the forest. When the human tribe finally left for good, their cursed brethren remained, pitiful and mindless animals.
Until I found you, my lady. You gave me peace.
I showed Swiftrunner that there was another side to his bestial nature. I soothed his rage, and his humanity emerged. And he brought others to me.
Why the jump us the Dalish then? For revenge?
In part, we seek to end the curse. The crimes committed against Zathrian's children were grave, but they were committed centuries ago by those who are long dead. Word was sent to Zathrian every time the landships passed this way, asking him to come, but he has always ignored us. We will no longer be denied.
We spread the curse to his people, so he must end the curse to save them.
Please, mortal. You must go to him. Bring him here. If he sees these creatures, hears their plight, surely he will agree to end the curse.
How about we kill Zathrian and the elves?
I like this plan.
So do I. I am truly impressed.
And you would help us in this? You would attack the Dalish?
Grey Wardens need allies. I'll take you over the elves. I've never done that before. Yeah.
Then we attack. They are weak with the curse. Let us leave him no choice but to break it. Break it or die!
Are you truly going to do this? Slaughter the Dalish?
You're no stranger to a little murder.
My mother was Dalish, or so I'm told. I hold no allegiance for them, but this does not sit well with me. Do not do this thing, I beg you.
This is the best way, trust me. Oh, hang on, no, because... Yeah.
Perhaps you are right. I should not have mentioned it.
So be it. Come, gather the others. Tonight, we go into battle.
Never done it this way before. I normally end the curse. Let's just see what happens. Very interested to see how we come out of this.
Zathrian will be our greatest foe. Leave him to me.
Then we attack! Brothers and sisters! Tonight, we have vengeance!
So, it has come to this. The Grey Warden betrays us after all.
You're going to end this curse one way or another.
I will not. You think you gain something by supporting the spirit and these rabid beasts? You are a fool!
You began this, Zathrian, not they. You summoned me, and placed me in the body of the Dread Wolf. This is your doing.
And they deserve their fate, Spirit. They still do.
The humans that caused you grief are centuries dead, Zathrian. You bring suffering to innocents, as well as to your own people.
My people will be cured when we rip the heart from your chest. As for these beasts, they will continue to suffer for what they did. They and all their descendants.
You will end this curse! End it, or you will all die!
Never! Never! You shall suffer as I suffer!
Oh, right, she's actually going to fight. That's cool.
Something is coming.
Oh, just sliced his head off. Oh, goodbye, sweet elf.
Someone's gonna fall out!
Yeah, baby. No. We don't need no elves. Get them out of here. Kill them all.
Time for a little bloodletting, I see. Leave it relax so you can get off my back.
Oh, we have to kill everyone. Okay. Let's kill the guy we need. We need him for a quest. Can't we just spare him so we can get the quest finished?
I am not.
Oh, sorry, Anna. Go and join your wife. Goodbye. Oh well.
And so it is done. You have had your revenge, good Swift Runner.
We shall never be free of the curse, my lady. I am sorry.
Perhaps not. But perhaps we can try to find a place for ourselves outside of the forest now.
But we will never be accepted.
We shall see. Thank you, mortal, for the part you played in this. What would you ask of us in return?
Join me and defeat the Blight.
Then I offer you my oath. The werewolves shall do battle. At your command, and yours alone. This I swear.
And I as well. I can leave my forest for a time and join Swift Runner's people in battle if I am needed. It will take some time for us to gather. The elven hunters will begin to turn, and they will need to be brought into our fold. But you will have your army, mortal.
Nice. So that's really interesting, the way that works out. I love the fact that it gives you an out sort of thing, because what I did was quite evil, but the game still gave me an out when it said, hey, you can still go and try and convince Zathrian to break the curse, and that's what we did. And he just wouldn't do it. And it's quite tragic for him. Well, tragic because he's such an idiot, because, like, if he'd only have just said, hey, you know, how about... Do you know what I mean? Like, if only he'd have just gone, okay, I'll break the curse, then, you know, his people would have been spared. There is actually... The reason why I think this is quite a good ending is because there's actually a very selfish reason that Zathrian won't break the curse, and that's because if he breaks it, then he dies, because he bound his own spirit in the ritual as well. So, if he will die if he breaks it. You know, so in a weird way, like the only way you convince him to break it is if you convince him to come with you to see the werewolves in the actual ruin, and they kind of convince him that, you know, that then they're not beasts, but at the same time it still takes a battle to get him there. You still have to fight him. You just don't kill him, because the werewolves show him mercy, and then he elects to break the curse because he's old and he's had enough. That's the good ending, and everyone turns into humans again, and then you have a very depleted elven force to come with you to fight the Darkspawn. But we didn't do that. We brought the werewolves here, and you know, because to be honest with you, I'm getting the sense that Royce at this stage in his journey, he's a bit sick of being lied to, you know, being used to solve everyone's problems. And so, like, because, you know, Zathrian completely lied to him, didn't tell him anything about the curse, and tried to get him to do his dirty work, that's why he basically put a blade to his throat and said, end the curse, essentially. And Zathrian chose not to, and this is all on Zathrian, and this is why I think it's such a good quest in terms of a story. This is all on Zathrian. This is not the Warden's fault what's happened here. That's why writing's insanely good. When I can do something as quote-unquote evil as this, and kill all of the elves, but still feel, well, you know what, I was justified, and this isn't really an evil thing. We gave him a chance, we gave him a choice to save all of his people. All the werewolves wanted was to end the curse, and he wouldn't do it. So, fuck him.
I'll get on it.
And I think that's completely fair. I think that's completely fair.
All right, all right.
In all honesty. Ooh. Don't know how you guys feel, but we didn't kill Gainer, did we? That would be typical, wouldn't it? Oh, I'll kill Athras though. That's unfortunate. Athras is the husband of the werewolf that we saw, who was Athens.
Got it.
Man, there's going to be a load of really cool stuff here. Guess all these Hela are going to be eaten by the werewolves now. Which is fine, I guess. Well, I think Gainer got out. That's okay. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens a bit later on. What happens a bit later on in the story in regards to this, and what kind of endings start again, and what happens in Dragon Age 2 and 3 with in regards to what we just did.
You are most welcome here, mortal. Efforts continue to gather the werewolves to make war under your command.
It will take some time yet to organize a large force of my people. I shall work quickly.
These are the elves that survived our attack. The curse runs in their blood now. Soon we shall see if they die, or if they replenish our numbers.
Won't they be angry even as werewolves?
Once they turn, if they turn, they will understand. They will know what we endure. And if they choose to defy the Lady of the Forest, if they do not hear her words, they can join their fellows.
How long will it take them to turn?
Not long now. A few days, perhaps more.
Good. The more of you, the better.
We shall be ready for you, Grey Warden.
It's a hunter. The elf is pale, sweating, writhing, and in a fitful and undisturbed sleep. His body is showing evidence of some slow transformation. Try to make him more comfortable. This one's awake. Interesting. And I don't make any secret of the fact that I'm not really a big fan of elves in this setting. Personally, I think they're really well written. I just don't, I don't like them personally. If I was living in this world, I would find them very irritating. What's that up there? Null Ironbark. Somebody broken the game. Because the guy we were meant to hand that into is dead. But Brazilian Forest, no. Travel. Yeah. I think we might be going back to the Brazilian Forest to get the armour, though. Get the armour of thingy. Get the Juggernaut armour.
You! The Grey Warden traitor! Why
Hello.
did you do this to us? We offered you our help, and then you lead these monsters down upon us.
I didn't betray you, Zathrian did.
Zathrian? But how? I know nothing of any betrayal.
He used blood magic to create the curse in the first place.
Your words ring of the truth. There were stories, old ones. If they are true, then we brought this calamity on ourselves. You are owed an apology. Please accept this token, Grey Warden, made by a craft master of long ago. And now I must go, to bring sad word to the other clans of what has been done.
That is brilliant writing. Again, from top to bottom this game sometimes. Really am impressed that it does that. We're looking for the tombstones, but this will give us a nice chance to just talk over what just happened. Because it's never happened to me before, and I think I will make that my canon thing to do now. Normally I break the curse, and you know I make sure that everyone has a happy ending. But that is actually a really good. It's ruthless, but it's not like stupid ruthless. You know, you know why he's done it. Because he was completely justified in doing it, and the game even lets you know, yeah, you know, it was a justifiable choice. Which I love. I love that. I think that's fantastic. I really do. Are there tombstones here? Yes, there are. There's one here. Oh, 1 second. Love that. I just sent a friend of mine a text that was meant for my missus. Awkward. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that might be my canon thing to do now. And I love how this game came out 10 years ago, and it's still finding ways to make me think more about the story. I mean, that's absolutely wonderful as a thing.
I'll get on it.
Right. Over to Vinter General. Okay, tombstone to disturb the tombstone.
Looks like someone wants to die again. Try that again.
God's sake, game, come on.
On order.
Officially pierced off. What is hitting me? Hitting me. I don't think it's hitting me. To be completely honest with you, I do not think it's the main guy who's hitting me. Oh, it's him. Juggernaut Helm.
Make it quick.
That's what we wanted. Might want to get rid of a few things then. Spirit Shard can go. Genuine Paralyzed Room, don't really need that. Need that either. So all in all, I think that is an actual... It's not the fact that it's a bad choice, as in it's an evil choice. It's the fact that it's quite an edgy... Not I say edgy choice. It's a bad choice of words there, but the fact that it's on an on-the-edge choice that the game actually justifies you making. It says, yeah, you were right, you know, and if you manage to persuade that elf, she even says, yeah, you're probably right to kill... And I've just killed her entire, you know, Oh, Deniala there. Sorry, Deniala. I've just killed, like, her entire people there. You know, and she's just said, yeah, you're probably right. So, you know. I'd love to know what you think, though. I mean, do you think we were justified in doing that? I think we were. I definitely think we were. Because we were let down the garden path there, and we even when we found out what was going on, we let him. We gave him the choice to say, hey, you know, make this right. You know, and he wouldn't, so. Where's this guy? Murder him. Christ. Got him.
Never have me. Now it's better than later.
All these battles against these Revenants are rock hard. I'm not using any more.
I'm wounded. Do something about it.
I'm not using any more. Get rid of leather armor. Get rid of that too. Codex updated, so we've got the stuff we needed from there. I wonder where the next one is. I think there's only one more to get, because we've gotten the... What did we get? Juggernaut gloves. Got the Juggernaut... Juggernaut helm, Juggernaut gloves. Need the boots now, and then we're done. Where are we going? We're going... this way, I think. Oh no, not this way. It just goes to show that, you know, even though I don't like the elves, this is how I play role-playing games though. Even though I don't really like the elves per se, they're my least favourite race in this setting. I still generally, you know, like to come out on things that make sense. I'll never play a stupid evil character who does evil things because ha 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 I'm evil. I will only ever do evil things if it is expedient. Like the one thing I like about Pathfinder Kingmaker is that the evil things the lawful evil things you tend to do are, you know, they make sense. You know, even though they are quote unquote evil, they make a lot of sense. Like you play the game and you're like, oh yeah, you know, I can totally see why. Oh, there's an ancient tombstone there as well. I wonder if we've got to go down here now. It's Dalish camp. North exit. Okay, maybe it's up here. Yeah, the fact that, you know, in Pathfinder Kingmaker, a lot of your evil choices are ruthless but expedient and cause the minimal loss of life most of the time. You know, you're very Machiavellian that way. If you're a lawful evil, which is what I believe lawful evil is. Like, if somebody said to me, you know, how would you define lawful evil? It's that. It's that you're Niccolo Machiavelli. You know, you will do anything to protect your people and make sure that they're okay. even if that means treading on a few toes and butting a few heads. Even if it means if 1,000 people have to die here, so 10,000 people can die over here, so 10,000 people can live over here, then you'll do it without a second thought, that sort of a thing. Or I like what the choice that we just did, even though it was quite, it was quite fiendish, in that technically we betrayed the elves, technically. In my opinion, we didn't really. It was one of those where, the elves, as Roy used to say, the elves sort of betrayed themselves when Zathrian, was warned what was going to happen, and he just went on with it anyway, and just didn't really care. Bit of a shitty thing for him to do, but. And again, this is what good role-playing games do. Other people have different opinions on Zathrian. There was a line in the original game where you can say, after finally he's dead, if he ended the curse, you can say to one of the elves, he goes, one of the elves says, I felt his passing, it's very sad. And you can say, well, he died a hero in the end. No, he didn't. Do you know what I mean? Even if he chooses to end the curse, he's still done an unimaginably selfish thing so that he can have long life. Yes, it started out that he wanted vengeance on the people who raped his daughter and killed his son. Yes. But at the same time, it only goes so far. It's sort of, the writing's so good that Zathrian's means of vengeance, they changed. His motives change from vengeance to self-preservation. Yeah? And that is a fantastic character trait, because you can understand, who wants to die? You can even say that, John thing. You can say to the spirit, you can say, oh, well, who wants to die? And but Zathrian's time's long come and gone, and he's actually started to convince people in the elves. He's actually rediscovered immortality, because the elves used to be immortal. He says that he's rediscovered the art of immortality, which is complete hogwash. So when you look at it from the quote unquote bad ending, where you get the werewolves, I've just seen, Zathrian's a monster. He's a terrible person. He let his entire tribe die, his entire clan die, just so he didn't have to face up to actually dying himself. Took them all with him, Oops.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Oh, you don't need to call me, my friend. I'm here. I've hit him with a full gambit there. Okay, everyone's gone. Oh shit. Oh, that was close. He very nearly went down there, did old Royce. He very nearly went down there. Heavy plate armor and juggernaut plate boots. Lovely stuff. Right, we can go back to the main camp now. Very happy with that. Very, very, very happy with that. So yeah, the point that I was making at the start of the episode is that a lot of people think these quests are just long enough, and I think they are actually. When I look back at it now, I just think that the combat is so grindy in these isometric RPGs. I don't play isometric RPGs for the combat. I've got to be honest with you. I just don't. I don't play Pillars of Eternity like that. I don't play Pathfinder Kingmaker like that. I play it for the story, because the writing in some of these games is absolutely phenomenal. If I wanted to play a game for combat, I would go and play Skyrim, or I would go and play The Witcher, or something like that. That has really satisfying combat. or Dragon's Dogma. That was amazing combat. That was fantastic combat. But all of those 3 games, apart from The Witcher 3, which is obviously one of the best games, if not, it is the best game of this generation, The Witcher 3. You know, so aside from The Witcher 3, the others don't really have great stories. You know, Skyrim is essentially the Skyrim story is what you make of it. Its main story is decent, but its actual story is your story, going through the world and having fun and being this hero. You know, role playing. They'd spawn in. In between sessions, I'll probably do a bit of inventory jigging about, and I normally give my characters things as well.
You are most welcome here, mortal. Efforts continue to gather the werewolves to make war under your command.
Cool. I think one thing we haven't talked about is the werewolves. You know, is this a good ending for them? Probably not. I mean, when they become human again, they're much more happy. But I will say this, that these werewolves who've lived around here, who've had the curse spread to them, a lot of them, you know, are now very used to being werewolves. Yeah? And as long as this spirit gives them peace and make sure that they can have a little place in society, maybe we'll see at the ending slides. I've never seen those ending slides before, so we'll see whether we can make the world a little bit of a better place so that they can be more accepting of werewolves. We might be able to, we don't know. We can certainly do that with the dwarves. One thing I love about the dwarves is that you can actually you know, make the chantry go there, and if you don't support you can actually make I can't remember what his name is, the younger brother king. He's very expansive, he's very like modern. If you don't help make Orzammar more modern, his rule's a disaster, you know. So I'm hoping that there is something I can do in the story so far in this game after this where we can actually make things better for the werewolves. We'll see. This probably isn't going to end well. I have a funny feeling that the game will punish us, and quote me at the end, I have a funny feeling the game will punish us for making this decision with the ending slides. Like, all these guys will die or fade away and have like horrible lives. Because boo, how dare you have a go at the elves? Because I'll tell you this now, the Dragon Age writers, they have a huge hard-on for the elves. Like they just, I don't know what it is, but they just love them. So I'm hoping that they get a good ending. And to be honest with you, I don't think this is such a bad ending. I think that, you know, they're building a little society together. They're happy in the forest. They've got the Lady of the Forest there. They're going to look over. They're going to watch over their forest. I mean, we've killed most of the bad things that were here, you know. So maybe they can become like the keepers of the forest, and they have their minds. You know, they're not rabid. So maybe, yeah, maybe they can carve out a good life for themselves. We'll see.
So, are you going to continue staring at me as if I am covered in eels?
Eels would be something.
Prudery. How charming. I expected paranoia. This is much better. I prefer to be stared at lustfully, if at all.
Keep trying, then.
Oh? Then shall I demonstrate an act or two, and you may tell me hot or cold?
I'll save time. Cold.
You are a tease.
I love how she like tries to wind them up. She tries to have a go at him. I think that shows Morrigan's extreme intelligence, really, in that, you know, she doesn't actually want Stem, but she knows the only way to get under her skin, really, is to like is to act like that, just to make him uncomfortable. And that'll be the end of this part. So in the next part, we will be going to... what will we be doing next? Orzammar next. Yeah, and we'll be talking to companions as well. I might do a bit of admin off screen, so, you know, selling a few things, giving companions gifts and stuff. But aside from that, I'll see you next time.